gone over how to draw on our last, and next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to turn this into a pattern. So I've got in front of me some card. Normal paper will do if you don't have it, and I've also got a cutting mat under me here as well so that I don't damage my table. So there is one more thing that I'm going to do on this design before I cut it out, and that's that I'm going to put a little notch in here just on the feather edge, which is the bottom edge of the last, and that's going to indicate that this is the inside of the shoe, because even though we're making two shoes, we're just making one pattern, and we're going to flip it to get left and right shoes, and that little notch is going to come in really handy to make sure that we've remembered to flip our patterns. So I am going to grab my craft knife and I'm going to just cut through the tape all the way around those top lines that we've drawn on. Don't be afraid to dig the knife into the last, but remember you're just cutting through one thin layer of masking tape, so you don't need to push too hard. Okay, now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all the way down the back there. Now we had that central line drawn on, and that's going to sort of act as our back seam. Now, we can get away with doing a full back seam because this is a flat shoe, but sometimes when we're doing a mid-heel or a high heel shoe, or even much bigger sizes, we can't actually just do a full seam down the back because the two pieces of the sides will overlap each other. And we get that crossover because of the pitch of the shoe, essentially. So I'm gonna do a full back seam on this one because I always think it looks neater, but if for whatever reason you can't do a full back seam, I always like to do a seam on the inside, and the reason I do it on the inside is just because it's the most discreet point. But luckily for us, we don't need that, so I'm going to go ahead and remove all the excess tape we don't need from here. I always really like this stage as well because it sort of shows how the shoe is going to look. It's a bit easier to sort of imagine it once you remove the excess tape. So if you did have any tweaks to the top line, now would be the time to make it. So I'm pretty happy with that, which means I'm going to go ahead and peel off my tape. And if you've taped it up really well, it should come off in one piece. But every now and then we'll have a piece like this that just doesn't want to come with us. So I usually just lift that up and stick it down so that it all comes off together as one piece. Okay, now the way in which we place down this tape is really important. So I'm just going to put it right in the middle of the paper here just so that you can see it really well. But under normal circumstances, I would put it a little closer to the side. In fact, I will, just to sort of save on the paper. So the most important thing when sticking this down is that we're starting with our top line and that we're conserving the shape of the top line. So we really want to just press the top line so that it goes naturally where it wants to fall, like that. So like I was saying, if we had a higher pitched shoe, those two pieces would sort of cross over each other, and that's why you'd need a side seam. But in this case, it's perfect without one. So the next thing I do is use my fingers or a pencil to just rub it as flat as it can. Now in some areas where we have curves like the heel and the toe, it's actually not going to go flat. So you can see that's as flat as this pattern will go. And what I'm gonna need is a pair of scissors so I can put a few little snips in here. Now we always want these snips to be coming in from the feather edge or the bottom edge because we really don't want to distort the shape of the main shoe. So I just put a few snips in there like that and then lay it flat. And same thing around here. So once we've got that pattern laying nice and flat, we can go ahead and put our allowances in. Now with this particular pattern, there are going to be 3 allowances that we add. The first one is going to be a seam allowance. Now I'm going to make it about 5 mil on this pattern, and it's going to go on the back. And the reason for that is because we need to stitch a seam here so that we can sew it back up into a 3D shape. So I have got my measuring tape and my pencil, and I'm gonna just mark on 5 millimeters And that's going to be my seam allowance. Now, if you wanted to, and if you had them, you can use dividers, and I've got that already set at 5 millimeters. And you can just scratch a little line in like that. And same thing on this side. And then you can just go over the scratch with your pencil, and that is a much faster way of putting your allowances in. But if you don't have a divider, just do it the other way with your tape measure or a ruler. So we'll write in here seam 5 mil. I always write my allowances on the inside of the pattern because, of course, if I write it on the outside, once we cut it out, we'll lose it. So try and keep everything within. I'm also going to add a 5 mil allowance to the whole top line here. This is going to be used for one of two things. Either if I want to fold my top line, this would be a folding allowance. But if I wanted to have a raw edge on my top line, I would still want this 5 mil allowance because I would use it as a trimming allowance for my lining. So either way, we are going to add 5 mil all the way around that top line as well. And then I'm going to label this fold/trim 5 millimeters so that I know that that's the folding or the trimming allowance. Okay, so we're almost there. We have one final allowance to put in, and that is our lasting allowance. The lasting allowance is going to go all the way around that bottom edge, or the feather edge as we call it. And I like to do 20 millimeters, which is 2 centimeters. And again, I'm going to mark that out onto my dividers. But remember, if you don't have dividers, it's super easy. You can just go to 2 and then just kind of do that the whole way around and then just match up the points. But if you've got the dividers, you can just do the old scratch trick as well, which is a bit faster. Okay, and then we can call this 20 millimeters lasting. Now, there's one thing we're missing here, and that is our little notch to indicate the inside of the shoe. Now, sometimes where we've cut these little slits to lay it flat, they can look like a notch, but I can see there that that is the notch that I'd originally drawn on. So I'm going to transfer that into my lasting allowance, and then we can go ahead and cut it out. Okay, and there we have pretty much the easiest ballet pump pattern you will ever see, and you simply flip it to get left and right feet.